Good evening, everyone. Back again with another episode of our Talking on Tuesdays, or whatever we're calling this on Tuesdays now. Just wound up dropping the checkered flag on my podcast, on my NASCAR preview. Now we're going to throw the ball in the air and tip it off. So we're going to look around, and we got a couple of good people here joining us tonight. We got Robert at WTP for Life. How's that going over in your world?
Oh, everything is good, man. I'm glad I'm on work. I know that. Yeah, man, I'm having a good day today. Glad to be on the show this evening with you two fine gentlemen. Let's get it rolling.
Good. Appreciate it. And then we got our man joining us down in the bottom who dominates every post there is. The high, the mid, the low. Sometimes I think the goal, but whatever he does, he dominates it. So how's it going over there post game?
Hey, man, I appreciate that to the fullest, man. It is all good, and I'm excited to get on here and give my unbiased opinion like we do. I appreciate y'all having me tonight. How y'all doing?
I'm doing good. I'm geared up, ready to get on this vacation starting. So we're looking forward to it. But other than that, let's jump into some of this. We got quite a bit we can discuss here tonight. But first off, just kind of a random topic, kind of a opening speech here. What makes March Madness something that you're never disappointed by? It's just it's must see for you. What makes it that? And Robert, you can jump off first.
Man, for me, it's the fact that March Madness is always got something that's going to happen that you know is going to happen, even though you think that these teams shouldn't win these games. Every single tournament, somebody upset somebody that they shouldn't, and you know what's going to happen year in and year out, and it never disappoints because you like, wow, we knew it was going to happen. We just didn't know who was going to be that team to upset somebody that they should not have beat. And we also get an opportunity to see some players that we don't get to see a lot. But when tournament time comes, we get to see some guys and we like, whoa, this dude can go. Whoa, this young lady can really, really play. And it never disappoints, man. So I love March Madness. It's probably the greatest tournament in sports.
Yeah, great point, Rob. For me, it's like where do I start? You know, of course, the matchups. Seeing some of the greatest basketball players across the country compete, the fact that it's do or die, win or go home, adds that excitement element to it. Everybody wants to see that. But for me, the best thing is the engagement across the country, from people who love college basketball, from people who never watched a second. Everybody has a bracket. So I think that the engagement from the public, from the people, is the most exciting thing for me personally. But man, there's so many different ways you can look at that question and explain how it brings excitement. So for me, it's the engagement.
For sure. We also have our man who needs to be renamed. His name's One Take Zaya. And I mean, sometimes I think it needs to be 2 or 3 take, but we're gonna let it slide with 1 take for tonight. How things going over there?
We're good with it, man. How y'all feeling this afternoon?
Doing good.
We good.
Yeah, hey,
I don't know.
March Madness. I hope the NCAA don't mess with it, man, because if they get the, adding to it or taking away, I don't think it'll be the same. But I think it's such a good tournament because it's win or go home. Like it's like a real. I would say it's a less than 50% chance year in and year out that the best team is going to win. So that just make exciting sports, you know, because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, 100% agree. My thing is partly what they, you don't have the Bryce Drew shot without March Madness. You don't have, as a homerism here, you don't have a Texas A&M storm back from 13 points down against Northern Iowa with 40 seconds left in the game. Those things only happen in March. And there's so many other things. I hate to bring it up, but that same year, Northern Iowa hits the three-pointer to beat Texas that, you know, from half court. Those things are forever ingrained in your memory. The Christian Laettner shot, those, you will never forget those moments, and it's because it happened in March Madness, not in January. So that's what I take out of it. All good points, though, and I do think it's the greatest tournament there is. Moving on down, talking the women's game here. You've got number 6 seed Notre Dame and number 10 seed Virginia. They're the lowest teams to make it through to the Sweet 16. In your opinion, who has the better chance to make it to the Elite Eight? Notre Dame squares off against Vanderbilt, really, really solid team in Micaiah Blakes. I think that's how you say her name. And then you've got Virginia taking on 3-seeded TCU. I know we normally let we'll let post game go second on this one, even though one of his teams in it. We're going to let one jump off this one if he can jump off and take this one first.
Yeah, I think this is a very simple question. There is only one Hannah Hidalgo. So when you got a player like that, bro, you have a chance to win each and every. This is why I always tell people: if you got the best player on the court, you have a chance to win each and every time you take the court. So I'm going to have to say Notre Dame.
But before you go, Post, I have to say one thing, because I know you're going to mention, and you can give us some more insight on your girl Hannah over there. You mentioned her a month ago, 2 months ago, whatever it was. You've mentioned her, and I started paying attention to her. Then didn't really pay attention to her until then. That might be the best basketball player I've seen in a long time, especially coming out of the women's side. So I just want to get that out there before you jump off.
Yeah, and you know, that's part of the reason why I drop videos is to, you know, if I'm seeing something where I feel like, okay, this is generational or the type of stuff she doing, it don't happen all the time. It's unique. So that's part of the reason why I do videos, especially for the women's game. Hannah Hidalgo in particular, it's because I'm like, hey, that's on you if you want to miss history in the making. I'm putting it out there. You know how they say you can bring a horse to the water. But anyway, I'm going to go with Notre Dame. I think they have a better chance to advance to the Elite Eight. But the way this bracket was set up, Notre Dame playing Fairfield, the best three-point shooting team in the country. Then at Ohio State, seeing a matchup with Jelani Cambridge, box office. Now we get to see Michaela Blakes and Hannah Hidalgo go at it. That's box office. That's must-see TV. If you a fan of basketball, you can't miss that matchup. That's like I'm a kid in a candy store. You dig? But I'm going to give it to Notre Dame for having a better chance simply because I think Zay said it. One team has Hannah, the other team does not. And we've seen this before in March Madness. Virginia is on a beautiful Cinderella run, but I think they go home against TCU. TCU has another elite guard on that team by the name of Olivia Miles, and I've made videos about her in the past. She is the female version of Magic Johnson. I'm gonna just say that. But I got Notre Dame moving on. I got Virginia season ending.
Yeah, I agree. I think Notre Dame has the best chance of beating Vanderbilt than Virginia has of beating TCU. I mean, when you got a player like Hannah Hidalgo and what she brings to the game, her relentless effort, man, you got to root for a player like that. I really like this Vanderbilt team, and I kind of wish that this matchup was maybe in the Elite Eight or maybe in the Final Four, because these are two teams that you want to see play further than what one of them was going to play. They're going to get one more game and that's it. But you would rather see them play 2 or 3 more games if possible. But I'm going with Notre Dame in this one. I think they're going to beat Vanderbilt, even though that Vanderbilt team, man, if they get hot from 3, they can be dangerous. Like we've seen what they did to Texas early in the season or during the regular season when they put it on Texas. Really helped Texas change their season and be focused. So kudos to Vanderbilt for doing that for my Longhorn girls. But I don't think Virginia even has a chance of beating TCU.
I think that's going to be a clean sweep on that. I'm going Notre Dame. I think after Post turned it on, that Hannah Hidalgo is just something else. And I'm kind of a closet Notre Dame female basketball fan because of the girl from Manville High School who went there, Brianna Turner. So I've kind of kept up with them a little bit, but got to keep up with them here. I agree. I don't think Virginia can beat TCU. This is going to be a really good matchup. Should it be happening in this round? Probably not, but it is what it is. So give me Notre Dame to advance. Next, we're going to jump off with, we've got a lot of in the women's game, a lot of your top seeds advance through pretty easily in the first few rounds. So now we're getting into the 1 versus 4s and 3 versus 2s. What lower seed do you see being victorious in these matchups? Obviously, we're not going to mention the games we just talked about with Virginia and TCU or Notre Dame because those would be Notre Dame would be the easy one there. But out of the other matchups between your 1 to 4, 3, 2s, who you got upsetting? In other words, I guess. So we'll let Post game jump off with this one first.
Yeah, this one was tough for me because I personally feel like all the higher seeds are going to win. But if I have to pick one, I'm gonna go with Oklahoma over South Carolina. South Carolina is great. I wouldn't be surprised if they won it all, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they lost to an Oklahoma team with Reagan Beers and Sanchez. So for my pick is going to be Oklahoma has the best chance of being victorious against a higher seed.
Rob,
I'm gonna go a different direction, and I think maybe Duke maybe has a good chance of beating LSU. I mean, it's a 2 versus a 3. It ain't like there's that much of a difference in terms of seeding. Just one position above, one position below. But I think that Duke team, they could possibly upset that LSU team. Now, that LSU team is playing pretty good basketball right now. And we've gotten to see those higher seeds really dominate in this tournament. And Duke was able to win their last game, which was a kind of a close one. I think that they got a chance to beat LSU. I think maybe LSU might be the team out of all of the ones that's between a 1 and a 2 that could possibly get got this Friday or Saturday. So I'm gonna go with that Duke over LSU.
One take. You got any thoughts on that one? He might be tied up at work.
Nah. Here I am. Hey, I'm going with Louisville. I think Louisville over Michigan, because I don't see them other teams losing for real. Like LSU, I just think they're a better team than Duke. I think UConn is way better than who they play. They play North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yes,
that ain't nobody beat. UConn ain't gonna lose unless they in the championship game. But the only matchup I can identify is Louisville Duke for real. So I don't know. I think them other games, the higher seed is just pretty much better teams.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take the only other game that involves a 1 seed because all the rest of them have been talked about. That Kentucky team can be sneaky. That Kentucky team can be very, very sneaky. They'd have to play perfect to beat Texas, but just to give some, really, that's the only game that was left that nobody took. So give me Kentucky. Like I said, they'd have to play perfect, and Texas is probably not going to have to play perfect. So we'll go that way. But I don't really see it, but I'd have to pick one I'd go that route just to not cover another game twice.
Yeah, well, we had to lead that out there we had to lead the Louisville over Michigan for one take Zaya, and we had to lead a Kentucky over Texas for a Texas A&M guy. We had to do that.
Hey, I ain't even put it together like that, man. No shade on the team up north, man.
Yeah. I'm stuck with the tech, whatever. That's fine. So looking at that, and Zay kind of mentioned it when he mentioned UConn a minute ago. Rank your 4 1 seeds in order from obviously best to worst. I think Robert, you can start this one off.
Man, I mean, the number 1 team is not really hard. You can go ahead and pencil UConn in right there, but who's going to be second between South Carolina and UCLA and Texas is where it starts to get a little bit shaky. Who you going to put there? I'm going to put Texas there because they beat South Carolina twice, and the only meeting and only loss for UCLA this year came at the hands of Texas early in the season. So because of that, I'm going to put Texas at 2. And I'm happy to be a Texas Longhorns fan, so I'm going to put them at 2. Then I'm going to put UCLA at 3, and I'm going to put South Carolina at 4. So I got UConn, Texas, UCLA, South Carolina. Oh, I'm stupid. I didn't mean to do that.
It's on me.
You were one take. Whoever wants to pop off next.
Yeah, it don't matter. I'll go. Hey, listen, man. Y'all know, Moss ain't here, so shout out to Moss. I'll take over the crazy road today, level up. I got you. Hey, my number 1 team is UCLA. I don't see nobody. I don't think nobody going to beat them. I think they're going to win it all. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Big Ten. We're going to get the men's and the women's side this year. 2, I'm going to go UConn. I think that's pretty clear. Everybody probably going to have it on 1. But, I'm going to roll with them at 2. Texas, I think Texas because Lady Durant is a real thing. She is the truth. I think she might be like a top 4 player in the country. So I'm going with Lady Durant, and then I'm going to go South Carolina because I seen South Carolina play LSU, and I kind of feel like LSU is a better team than South Carolina for real, even though they beat them.
Yeah, I'll go at 1. I'll go UConn. Just strong and AZ Fudd and Coach Gino. At 2, I'll take Texas. I really like Madison Booker, and she can completely take over the game on the offensive end. 3, I'll take UCLA, and 4, I'll take South Carolina.
Yeah, I'm pretty much going to follow post game exact. UConn, UCLA, Texas, South Carolina. That's the way I see it. And I know Texas beat UCLA and South Carolina both, but UCLA looks so good right now. They could beat UConn. I mean, any of those times. UConn destroyed South Carolina earlier, but yeah, that's the way I'm going to rank them. So, anything else y'all want to mention real quick before we jump into the men's side? Y'all want to mention on women's March Madness? Just any kind of takes? Post game, I'll open it up to you first here, or say whoever. Don't matter.
Yeah, man. Hey, congratulations, post game, man. We should have made a bet, man, or something, man. You gotta get an Old State shirt or something, because Ohio State and Notre Dame been bumping into each other a lot. So we might need you. We might need you to show up in a Ohio State shirt one time, and I might need to show up in a Notre Dame shirt one time if it happened like how it happened. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I know we don't got story time today, but let me give y'all, if y'all don't mind, a quick story, because it's really funny you just said that. So I'm 18. I'm young, Of course, I've always rocked with Notre Dame, but for that particular night, I was with 2 of my cousins. I had an Ohio State football jersey on, and I'm just trying to swagger it out. Everybody know I'm a Notre Dame dude, but anyway, I had an Ohio State football jersey on, and we riding around. We in South Bend, and we trying to figure out what we're gonna get into that night. So we like, yo, let's go to the campus or at least the apartments, and let's go party with the Notre Dame students. So okay, cool, we all in it. I'm not thinking correctly. Maybe I was under influence, maybe not, but I wasn't thinking correctly. And we get to the party, it's crazy. Everybody wilding. So we step out the car and we try to get in. And as I'm walking to the door, I'm wondering, like, why is everybody saying F Ohio State? Long story short, we didn't get into that party. I went in, I took the Ohio State jersey off, kept my tee on, and they still wouldn't let us in.
Hey, what jersey did you have?
Man, what jersey was that? I forget, man. That was a long time ago.
That is hilarious.
I know it was Ohio State though.
They probably wanted to burn the jersey off your back, bro.
Bro, all you heard was F Ohio State.
Crazy.
Is there anything else I want to mention about Women's March Madness? Listen, with Iowa State being put out in the first round, I would keep an eye on Audie Crooks in that transfer portal. I really believe she needs to be somewhere with one of these elite guards. I would keep an eye on her as they, exited the tournament a little early. Man, this has been a dynamic men's and women. And I was thinking about this earlier. I know I said it on past podcasts, but I truly believe this batch of women basketball players, the WNBA's future is super bright. I personally believe out of all these women players that you see playing in this tournament, some of them are going to be, a lot of them are going to be some of the best basketball players of all time. That's what I believe.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Audie Crooks, man. I think somebody's going to court her into hitting that portal for sure. the thing that bothered me, man, I seen USC get their doors blew the heck off of there, man. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I wanted to see Juju, bro, so badly. Because I felt sorry for that USC team getting done like that. I think they got beat up by South Carolina. And we all know that if Juju was there, that ball game would be a lot more competitive. You know, South Carolina might have still won the game, but to not be able to see Juju a whole entire season, bro, just isn't fair, man. Just isn't fair. So I would have loved to have seen her in this March Madness to see what she could have willed that USC team to do in this tournament.
Hey, Rob, let me say this. Next season, you add Juju Watkins and Jazzy Davison together along with that class they got coming in. Don't even worry about it.
Hey, Rob, I wish you wouldn't have re-broke my heart. You know I wanted to see Juju. You know I wanted to see Juju all year, man.
Yeah.
You got anything else there? Nothing?
I'm already heartbroken.
You're heartbroken now, so you're done. Huh? You're just gonna sit in the dark and just cry. It's there's not a whole lot more to say about it. I just think it's been one of the more entertaining women's brackets, especially than it has been in recent years. Yeah, you've had some blowouts. Of course, you're going to have that, but I think it's getting wide. The margin's getting narrower between some of these teams. Like you saw in the men's game, how it got narrower. I think you're starting to see that. You still got your dominant teams, but that's just kind of what I'm looking at. I don't know if anybody knows.
Let me ask post-game a question real quick, if you don't mind, SEC.
Oh, go ahead.
Post-game, what do you think Aldi Crooks should be working on this offseason going into next season, whether she stays at Iowa State or she goes somewhere else? Because I'm quite sure some people are going to be courting her to hit that portal. What would you like to see her working on in this offseason?
I mean, she can score. That's definitely not the issue. Her scoring in the low post is not the issue. The things I want to see Audie work on is, number one, her conditioning. I think that affects, her rebounding, because Audie, she could have a game where she got 10 plus rebounds, but it's not consistent. Like her rebound totals go like this instead of, like that. And I think that's a part of her game she needs to work on. At her size, she needs to be a more dominant rebounder. I would get with a nutritionist and I would try to cut at least 30, because I think she gonna be a bigger size post player. But if she can get in the best shape she can, she could average 28 and 12 easily. And I think she will if she's able to do those things, she will really be the dominant force in college basketball that she's supposed to be.
Hey, that girl from Syracuse tore her up. And it's all because of the conditioning, too. She tore up. Hey, from 17 feet. Everything was from 17 feet.
Well, we got some people jumping into the comments over here. We'll hit these real quick. Don't know exactly if anybody knows who this is or how to pronounce this, so we're just going to go with Kumar 8710. I'm not even going to try. I don't want to mess up your name. We appreciate you watching. Looks like they got Vandy winning it all on the women's side and Purdue on the men's side. That's their pick. So, we appreciate your picks and you joining in and tuning into the show for sure. And then we got Craziness has joined the chat. Level Up Sports. He's cheating again on our ranking of the top 4 schools. He went Texas. Then he went UConn, and UConn are both 2 and 3. So UConn's cheating. They're getting 2 schools. And then South Carolina 4. He didn't even say UCLA. He said the Big Ten ain't worth it. That's what he straight up said. That's not even good, man. No, we appreciate it, Moss. You know I got to give you a hard time. And then he kind of agreed with y'all about the WNBA are going to be some amazing games to see next year when all these people start hitting it. So appreciate it. He mentioned also liking and subscribing. We appreciate, again, everybody who's tuned in. Anybody who watches the replay, just like, subscribe, come join us. Drop your comments in. We'll talk anything y'all want to mention in the chats. Even Moss, Level Up Sports, we even answered his questions. So moving over to the men, we'll let Rob go last on this one. We'll let Zay jump off here. Texas versus Purdue. Can Texas pull up the upset, and what percentage do you give them to do it?
You know, the percentage thing, I'm a gambling man. So, you know, the percentage thing, they probably say they open up at like 40-something percent, 43, 44%. I think Texas can beat these dudes, though. I've been saying it for 2 weeks now. Purdue always lose to somebody they ain't supposed to lose to. And I don't know, but Smith, the point guard, he ain't been playing his best. He ain't really been taking care of that ball for real like he typically do. He had 8 turnovers in the last game. So, I mean, if Texas, like I said, if Pope and Mark can hit timely 3-pointers, and you get Swain, he gonna stuff the box score. And Rob always mentioning this big guy and him staying out of foul trouble. Texas can play, bro. They just got to show up and play. And Texas got size, like it ain't like this ain't like no fluke either. Like they got a true 7-footer, the guard play been good, and then you got a wing. That's a perfect recipe for a team to be good in March Madness. So I actually think Texas is gonna pull the upset for real. Just because I know Purdue got this track history of losing games they shouldn't lose.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Purdue does let a lot of people down when it comes to March Madness. I like this Purdue team, man. A lot of people had them preseason number 1, but I also like this Texas team. And Texas is the classic case of a team getting stronger and stronger. And about time that Madness tournament starts, they clicking. They playing how they should have been playing all season. And I believe that this is a game where Texas's athleticism and speed could give Purdue a lot of issues. And if that happens, I think Texas marches on. They keep on dancing. So I would say this is like 52%, 48% Purdue. I still think Purdue is the slight lean, but if Texas play how they've been playing, and like I said, the athleticism get to Purdue and causes them trouble, Texas is going to keep dancing.
Yeah, I mean, God, I hate to say it, but I mean, Texas can win this game. They got to keep the Volkswagen, Vulcanitis, whatever his name. He got to stay out of foul. He has to. Texas, they just got guys. This game's going to come down to one of two things. Is Texas able to hit their threes? Timely threes, too. And does Smith keep turning the ball over like he has been in this tournament? If Smith takes care of the ball, I kind of like Purdue. If he plays kind of like he has been, I like Texas to win the game. So we'll just kind of see. I mean, I'd give Texas probably right now. I'm real close. I'm probably going 48-52 with Texas winning. Texas 52% to win and 48 to lose. I think it's a really good matchup. So that's where I'm at with it. And Rob, we'll let you get to screaming, hook them, and throwing stuff around and doing all that things y'all do. So have fun.
I definitely believe Texas can win this game, but I got it as a 60-40 in favor of Purdue because I just don't know if Montas can stay out of foul trouble. He's going to have his hands full with the big boy from Purdue. Really, both of those guys. But like one take Zay, post game said, if Texas can use their quickness and athleticism against this Purdue team, they could probably create some matchup issues for Purdue. Purdue's big man with his slow feet, he's gonna have to guard Montas, who is really nice in the low post. He got some good feet. He can score down there. The thing is, can he play under control, not get any stupid fouls like an offensive foul or be fouling over the back doing stuff like that, man. If he can stay out of foul trouble, and if Swain can use his athleticism and his speed to take advantage of their guy that's going to be guarding him, Texas can be in really good shape. Like one take said that, but Pope and Mark, they got to make their shots, man. They got to make their shots. And I think Texas lately has been playing some really, really good defense, and they haven't been fouling as much, even though Montas has fouled out, I think, twice in this tournament. If they can keep him out of foul trouble and they can knock down shots and take advantage of their athleticism, they can make it real tough on Purdue. Purdue put them out of the tournament a couple of years ago. Texas returned the favor the next year. Hopefully Texas can do it again this year and beat this Purdue team and be the lowest rated seed team to make it to the Elite Eight.
So you said you got Purdue with a 60.
Yeah, as far as the percentage, I got Purdue winning, but I do believe Texas can upset them.
Hold on, my phone's going off here. Hold on. I'll tell him. That was Chris Del Conte. He said, "Send your Longhorn merchandising gear back. You don't ever pick against us, son." That's what he said. That's him.
Hey, tell him I'm a realist.
If you think Chris Del Conte's calling me, you really need help.
He might be.
He needs to get some help because I'll tell him a few things.
He probably think you want an application to become a fan.
No, that is definitely not happening. Before we jump, I'll go ahead and tell you, we're going to let Zay, I'm going to let you go last on this because this is a Big Ten matchup. So even though, it's not Ohio State, but it's your conference. So we'll reverse it and go, we'll go Robert, Post, Zay on this one. I'll jump in before Zay on this. 9, Iowa, who just beat a lot of people's, favorite to make it to the title game, if not win it back-to-back in Florida. Still don't know what Florida was doing on that last play, but whatever. Taking on Nebraska, who said, we don't care that we've never won a game. Now we've won 2. So who you got and why in this matchup? Go ahead,
man.
Robert.
I'm taking number 4 Nebraska, and I just don't want the glory to stop. This team has not won a tournament game until this year. They won 2. They find themselves in the Sweet 16. I'm taking Nebraska because I don't want it to stop. I want them to beat Iowa and make it to the Elite Eight. I think they can. They've been battle tested in this tournament. They've proven that they can win against some good competition. I'm taking Nebraska over Iowa. I believe Iowa is probably going to be still riding high off the fact that they beat a number 1 seed in Florida, a team that I don't think anybody in the country other than Iowa fans expected them to win. And I think they're going to come in there and be a little bit flat, and Nebraska's going to take advantage of that.
Yeah. How about the Midwest representation in this college basketball tournament with the teams left? The Midwest has a lot of teams, Nebraska and Iowa being 2. I got Nebraska in this matchup. I just like what I've seen from them thus far. They're a really scrappy team. They make like hustle plays. They like I'll hustle you. And you add the fact that they are really good at shooting 3-pointers. So I lean Nebraska in this team. I think Iowa is going home and Nebraska keeps dancing.
Yeah, I'm going Nebraska on this. I'm curious when the pressure is going to get to them because I know it's coming for a team that's never been here. I think they have the right coach, though, to kind of curtail that and let them, look, just guys, go play. Just have fun, go play. You hope there's no letdown that they don't have to face that Florida team. And they're like, oh, it's Iowa. We've already beat them. Well, you can beat a team once. You can't always beat them twice. So I do like Nebraska in this matchup, though. I think Nebraska gets done, moves on to the Elite Eight. So that's where I'm leaning with this. And the floor is yours, Mr. Big Ten.
Yeah, I'm like Rob, man. This the new Cinderella out here. You know, this is the Cinderella stories we got nowadays. So I'm rooting for Nebraska, but I think these teams are super like even for real. It like this game gonna go either way. It's like whoever the basketball guys choose, I feel like is how this game gonna play out. But I think Iowa gonna win. I don't know. I like that Starks kid, man. That Starks kid is nice. So, and you know, Iowa beat Nebraska a few weeks ago on their home court. I think that's gonna carry over a little bit, that confidence. So, I'm gonna roll with Iowa.
But did Nebraska beat Iowa too?
Yeah, Nebraska beat Iowa, and they both
At
beat each
Iowa.
other on their home court. Yeah, they both beat each other on their home court.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I knew they had played once for sure. I wasn't sure about a second time. I thought they did, but yeah. So should be an interesting matchup. This one we're going to roll with this question. We're going to we'll let Robert. We'll go Zay. Actually, we'll go post Zay Robert on this one because it's an SEC school involved. So we'll let Robert, and then I'll go after Robert. So you've got number 4 Arkansas and 1 Arizona. Will Darius Acuff Jr. need 30-plus points, or will the rest of the team have to play out of their mind special to win this game?
Yeah, man, great question. But they're gonna need both. They're gonna need Darius Acuff to have a special performance, 30-plus points. And the other guys got to show up too. This is the real deal. This is the full course meal. In my opinion, Arizona is the best team in the bracket. So if you're gonna put a team out like Arizona, your guy got a guy and the others got a other. You know what I'm saying? Like this got to be a team victory. Acuff can score 35, 40. They still lose. They didn't get much production from the other guys, but I think this is a really great matchup because it kind of pins like probably best player against best team. But I would caution people, like, don't sleep on Arizona's guards. Like, you can't forget Bradley is the Big 12 player of the year. Berries, man, he could be top 10 in the NBA draft. And I know a lot of times we all say, and I think it's pretty much universal, that you got great guards, you're going to go a long way in any tournament you in. That's true. I'm not knocking that at all. But I think what this Sweet 16 going to come down to is the bigs. I truly do. You think about Arizona with Awaka, Kristofov, or if, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but those guys have size, strength, length, everything you need, and they can disrupt the game for some guards if they stay out of foul trouble. So I like Arkansas. I think Acuff is going to do his thing, but Arizona is a really good defensive team. As far as I think they rank like 3rd in the country as far as defense goes, and the way they rebound, I think is second to none. So I'm gonna take Arizona in this game.
Man, I'm going with A-Cuff and them boys. Hey, listen, this is gonna be the best game of the whole slate, in my opinion, because I think you got the hottest player in the country versus the best team in the country. Now, this the thing though. Arkansas, Arizona, I like what postgame said. We know about the guard play, but I definitely agree. I think this is going to come down to whoever bigs play better, because Arizona, they got them footers over there, you know. But if we can get everything we need out of Brazil, and then they got the other dude supposed to be coming back, which he a senior too. So, you know, that added experience is going to be cool. I just need him to play about 15 minutes and come out there and give us some good energy minutes. But if them two dudes can play and do something with Arizona's bigs, I think A-Cup gonna bring it home. He one of them dudes that at the end of the game, if it's close, I'm putting my faith in him. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting my faith in him. I'm rolling with him every trip.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to take 30 and a special 30 points from Darius A-Cup and a special role from everybody else on this team in order to beat this Arizona team. I think they're the best team in the country as well, like many of you think. And I agree with you one take, Zay. If this thing is close, coming down the stretch in the last 2 minutes, I think what we're going to see is Darius A-Cup put this team on his back and will them to a win. I got Arizona winning it, but if it's close, I'm going to flip over to Darius A-Cup in Arkansas because I think this guy is going to will his team to a win. If it's close with 2 minutes left and they're only down 2 or 3, I think he can will this team to a win. And that's going to be the key for Arkansas, is to keep this thing close and then in the end make plays. But the key is they got to keep it close because Arizona can get up on them in double digits and go ahead and coast the rest of the way and win this thing by double digits.
Yeah, I'm real interested in this. I agree with it. It's going to take both. A-Cuff's going to have to do what A-Cuff does, but you've got to get these other guys have got to do something. They can't just, you can't have A-Cup score what against Bama. He put up, what was it, like 49 or 56 or something against Bama, but they lost because he didn't really have any support to carry, to help. Y'all can answer this too if you think, but as far as roster, up and down the entire roster, I think this might be the most athletic team Arizona's faced. This team is super athletic at every position. And I know Houston's got some guys and some other teams they play, but man, they got dudes that are just athletic. So, I'm actually going with Arkansas in the upset. I'm going with Arkansas to pull the upset. I think it is going to be a close game, and I think A-Cuff does something down the stretch that just makes everybody go, okay, and supplants himself as the number one pick, if he hasn't already. So I don't know if y'all have thoughts on, is this the most athletic team Arizona's faced? I mean, just pure athleticism. Yeah, I don't know if y'all have any thoughts on that. That's just kind of my take on it.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if this was the most athletic team, because I mean their athleticism, that the whole SEC this year is like, man, they got freakish athletes everywhere. So I would not be surprised. I would have to go through their schedule, but I wouldn't be surprised if Arkansas was the most athletic team they faced this year.
Yeah, I didn't look at their whole schedule either. It just crossed my mind. I mean, Arkansas might be the most athletic team anybody plays ever all year. But very good, huge, great insight onto that, looking at some of the matchups there. But moving on to what I feel like could be the best game in the Sweet 16. with a massive, beyond massive home court advantage. You have Illinois dropping all the way down to that steam bath in Houston, Texas to face the Cougars of Houston. Whoever wants to jump off first, pop off on this one. There's a lot of takes on this game I'm sure we're going to have. This is a phenomenal freshman matchup here. But between the two freshman guards, though that's going to be something to watch. So anybody jump off, pop off on this one. Rob, you actually go last because this kind of is one of your teams with the Illini there. So posters, whoever wants to jump.
Hey, you said this game is in Houston?
Yep.
Oh, that's grimy.
Well, that's what. So the winner of the Texas A&M Houston game was going to get to play in Houston. So either way, one team was going to have a huge home field advantage because A&M is an hour and a half away from Houston. So it worked out perfect for A&M to fall into that South bracket. It didn't work out perfect with the outcome with Houston, but if you looked at the bracket, it looked good. But yeah, it's in. I want to say the Toyota Center. I'm pretty sure is where it's going to be played.
Yeah, man. This is a differential and stylistic fight right here. You know, both of these teams is very, very good teams, very well coached teams. But I think my homerism is taking over. I think the best teams is in the Big Ten this year. So that being said, I'm going Illinois. I think, I think it's going to be a high scoring game, but I think they're going to hit more threes. I think that's what it's going to come down to, the three ball. Whoever hit more shots. There's shooters everywhere on Illinois, but Houston got shooters everywhere too down there. So but like you said, Sean, these point guards is crazy. This point guard matchup is crazy. So Flemings and Wagler, I don't think nobody can guard. I don't think nobody can guard Fleming. Man, it's a tough game to pick though. But just with my Big Ten homerism, I'm going Illinois because I really don't even know who to pick in this game, honestly.
Cool. What must each team do to pull off the victory? Well, for Houston, I think they gotta come into this game doing what they've been doing for the last 2 years. That's being really physical, playing great defense. They got one of the better coaches in America, and Sampson. I remember him back in the day at Oklahoma. But they just got to be the more physical team. I think Illinois struggles with physicality. I mean, we've seen that with Michigan. And I really like Sinek and Tugler for Houston as their big man. We all know about the three guards Houston has. That's going to be a very fun matchup. For Illinois to win this game, they're going to have to be physical. They can't be bullied. Stojakovic is going to have to hit threes. Wagler is going to have to play like a lion. They cannot turn the ball over. If you turn the ball over against Houston, you can look up, it'd be 33-67. So they have to match the physicality and not turn the ball over and make the shots that they normally make. And absolutely, I'm gonna say this. I know it's low hanging fruit, but rebounding, man, I'm telling y'all, rebounding makes the difference. If you can rebound against you got a chance to beat anybody. So those are the things that those two teams have to do. I got a slight lean towards Houston. I just think their experience, their coaching, the way they play ball, man, and them making that run they did last season. Those cats is hungry for the way they lost that game. They shouldn't have lost that game to Florida, but they lost. So I'm a lean towards Houston.
One thing I noticed with Illinois is the way they run their offense, they're going to get open shots. What I've noticed about Houston is the way they run their defense, you're not going to get open shots. So what style wins? Illinois has the length to rebound with Houston. Do they have the physicality to match with Houston? I think I'm gonna wash the point guard matchup. I think that those two are gonna counter each other. One might have more points, but one might have more assists or whatever. So I'm gonna call that a wash. This is gonna be one of those what March Madness refs do we get? Do they let them play, or is everything ticky-tack? If it's ticky-tack fouls, Houston's in trouble. If they let them play, I think Illinois is in trouble. I like Houston in this game, not just because they totally dismantled my Aggies. I really like Houston. So I do expect it to be the hardest game to pick, and I think it's probably the best game of the Sweet 16. Really interested to watch it, but yeah, give me Houston. Playing at home too. Give me Houston for sure.
Yeah, for me, Wagler he's got to show up in this game. He cannot take the back seat in this game and allow the players around him for Illinois to take the lead in this thing. He has to be the man who says, listen, I'm taking this thing on my shoulders and I'm going to be the man today. Illinois has got to rebound, like post-game said. Houston got to get one shot and that be it. You can't allow them to get long rebounds. You can't allow them to get second chance shots. And if Illinois can do that, and when the opportunity that Illinois have to run, but whenever it's not there, don't force it. Go into your half-court sets and make Houston play your big guys, because those big guys, man, and the bodies that they have, they can get into the paint and get some easy shots, possibly some and ones. But they're going to have to force Houston into a slower style of play. They got to make Houston not go up and down the court. This Houston team can really play some ball, man, and I think they play really good defense. Illinois got to take advantage of every opportunity they got, but it starts with rebounding the basketball, and they got to be physical. They can't allow Houston to out-physical them the way Michigan and Michigan State did them. They just can't do it. Otherwise, they're not going to win this game. So they got to be scrappy, they got to be feisty, and they got to be willing to go out there in this game and play relentless like they light the pins on it, because it does, because you go home if you don't win.
Yeah, really. Again, solid takes. I when you get this crew together, you're going to get some really solid takes on games coming up. So really, really, really good insight on it all. And I know one take was claiming all his homerism. So I'm going to take Houston. Like I said, I'm taking Houston as my homerism from the SWC. So y'all probably don't remember about that, but Rob do. I know.
Yeah.
Y'all, we'll go around the horn with any updates you might have from your football team this spring. We're going to go with Rob because I want to get the Texas one out of the way. Then we'll drop down to post game with some Notre Dame. We'll let one take go, and then I'll finish it up with A&M. So, anything you want to mention going on? Any hearings? Any? Hopefully not from anybody. Any injuries that could be serious and make a guy sit? Anything you've heard of? Just give us some updates on your team. So for the new fans that might be watching this for the first time, just mention who your team is and give us some updates about them, if y'all would. We'll just go around the board.
Well, my Texas Longhorns is in practice number 4 today. Their second day in pads. Of course, Arch Manning came back today. how much he was back is to be determined because we know they're going to slow roll him. Also, Ryan Wingo came back today. So that the fact that those two guys are at least out there almost semi-participating is a good sign. You don't want them to push it too hard because you're going to need them for fall ball, but you at least like the fact that they're out there being able to be with the rest of the guys and doing some of the things that they're doing out there as well. The thing that I like the most is that the young guys for Texas are actually getting that work in, and it really shows how important it is now when you play any college football. You got to get on that campus as soon as you possibly can. Getting there in the summertime does you a disservice if you can get there during the winter session or spring session, however they determine it. When you get in there to that second semester, you want to be there on campus so that you can be there during spring practice. A bit of bad news is the fact that Jonah Williams is going to miss all of spring, diving for a ball in baseball, re-aggravated his shoulder, had surgery, which now he has a decision to make, in my opinion. You're either going to have to decide you're going to play baseball or you're going to play football. And I think for me, even though I want him to play football badly for the Texas Longhorns, I think he needs to go ahead and focus on baseball, in my opinion. But the fact that our safety room is starting to come together, there was the one spot on this team that we had some concern. I had some concerns because you got Derek Williams coming back off of the ACL from 2 years ago. You hope he's going to be up to speed. You lose Michael Taft. Hopefully, Kobe Black and that team understands that maybe he needs to move to safety because he's not as fast of a corner that you might need in this SEC. So hopefully he'll move there. But the linebacker position was another position I had some concerns with. Even though they got two solid guys in the portal, they're not the biggest of guys. So, you know, that kind of worries you in the SEC where you know they're going to run a lot. But I'm happy to say that Tyler Atkinson is playing really, really well as a freshman. Will he get some burn? It's possible because Ty Anthony Smith is still nursing a shoulder injury as well. So he's out during the spring too. So a lot of these young guys have an opportunity to get out there on the field, which is the thing that I like the most, because you got to have depth when you feel like your team can play 16, 17 games in a season if they make the playoffs, which I believe Texas has a good chance of doing with the veteran experience that they have and the talent that they have. So hopefully these young guys will continue to get better week in and week out, learn the system that's being put in front of them so that they can make a long run and they can get a lot of players playing throughout this season so that our top players don't have to play as much in the less meaningful games.
Real quick before you jump on Notre Dame post game, I want to mention something to Robert. I saw that kid play football and baseball. Williams down at Galveston Ball. First game of his senior year was against the team Manville, where my son went, and I watched it, and that kid dominated us. But he's a much better baseball player than he is a football player. Texas. But once they hit the big dogs of high school football in Texas, he was shut down. He's a phenomenal baseball player. In my mind, he needs to stick with baseball. But
I agree.
You know, the kid's going to do what the kid wants to do, and more power to him. I hated to see he got hurt, even though he's a Longhorn. I hated to see it. I think he's a really good kid. So didn't want to interrupt post game. We'll let post game jump on with.
Yeah, no problem at all. I mean, where do I start? The first thing that I like from spring practices that I've seen is that Notre Dame is getting into scuffles. You know, I like that. I mean, I'm sure you won't see this heading to the fall, but being that it's spring, you know, they out there competing, You normally don't hear this from Notre Dame. I know I haven't growing up being a Notre Dame fan, but fighting and scuffles in practice, getting heated, that's how Marcus Freeman likes his practices. The depth on the defensive line is really standing out. Rodney Dunham, the 5-star freshman, is making plays thus far. We know about the transfer from Oregon, Tion Gray, the transfer from Pittsburgh, Francis Brew. You add that, they got monster depth and depth that I haven't seen in my lifetime at Notre Dame currently. So I'm excited about the defensive line. When you add that with the secondary and the linebackers, that could be a really special defense. But Mylan Graham, the transfer wide receiver from Ohio State, even just running routes, that dude looked different. So I'm excited to see him and CJ Carr build that chemistry in camp. Also, Porter is out. The other wide receiver transfer from Ohio State, I think he'll be back in the fall. Tay Johnson at safety just looks different as well. Before I move to safeties, wide receivers, man, Larry Fitzgerald's son, Devin Fitzgerald, I'm gonna just say this: he a freshman. The genes is there. The eye test is passed, and I think one take Zay asked me maybe a few months ago, what freshman do you think is going to surprise? And that's the name that I brought up. But as far as safety goes, Tate Johnson, and we all know what Tate Johnson did when he was inserted into the lineup, like the second or third game. That Notre Dame defense changed. It's different when you got a safety, and I'm pretty sure Ohio State fans can attest to this, but it's different when you got a safety that can lock down a segment of the field. Like we know better to go that way because we know it's going to happen. So Tay Johnson at safety is really fast, really athletic, and he looks like he got the goods, but I already knew that from last season. Offensive line, are we going to see Charles Jagasaw? We heard about the devastating injury he had last season. I think an RV or something like that. He fell off. Man, he don't like his third, fourth, fifth surgery. So at this point, I'm just praying for that young man. Hopefully he's able to get back this season, but that's not a guarantee. The offensive line was, they trying to figure it out. You got Will Black at left tackle now. They moving Anthony Knapp in the left guard. So for the offensive line, for me, it's going to be the biggest dictator of success for Notre Dame this season. If they can have a top 3 to 5 offensive line coming into the season and playing that way through the season, through the duration of the season, I like Notre Dame's chances this season. So some really interesting things coming out of camp, and I'm excited, fellas.
Yeah. We got to get on the Ohio State University. Hey, I can't wait for football season. Y'all hear me, man? Football season be making me itch, bro. I be getting the shakes thinking about it. But hey, listen, we got a lot of things going on. Some good, some bad, some things that I'm questioning, some things that I'm sure about. First, the Spurs as starters. They said my boy Tavian St. Clair is looking like that guy out there, and I don't know. The schedule is built how it's built this year. And I'm telling you, if I see a deer in the headlight with Julian saying, you're going to hear a lot of fans calling to see Tavian, bro, because the way they talking about him is the game to slow down for him. And y'all know what that means. He a 5-star dude too. So, looking forward to seeing Tavian in the spring game is seeing that growth. But our top 2 running backs is out. Bo and Isaiah West is out all spring. So it's gonna give other guys a chance. Turbo, Legend Bay. He already, everybody in Ohio State love him now already. I don't think we've seen a player on our roster like him in quite some time though. So looking forward to seeing what Legend Bay and how they can deploy him. But this offensive line thing, the last time we seen our offensive line, we seen them get torched by Miami. And this is the part that ticks me off about Ryan Day. They talking about we got 4 out of 5 guys that return. They talking about they ain't shuffling these dudes or nothing. They rolling the same guys back. I don't like the idea. You know, we're not gonna sit here and play like Austin Saraville is a left tackle when in actuality you can look at him and tell he's a guard. Like, where is these other guys like Ian Moore and these dudes where is the Armstrong twins? Can we look at anybody else at left tackle? Because the last time we seen this offensive line, they got torched. But this the thing too, though. Arthur Smith was like, he got to get his eyes on it, and he gonna make a decision on it for real. So I don't know. I'm gonna be optimistic because Arthur Smith, he like to play jumbo sets with these tight ends. So, and that's another thing that scared me. These jumbo tight end sets. They talking about this is the deepest Ohio State's receiver room being in, not the most talented, but the deepest. If you're going to have this deep old receiver room, why would you be rolling out 2 and 3 tight ends? This is the same mistake we was going through last year. Well, so I don't know. Listen, I'm optimistic. Like post-game said, our season is going to come down to our offensive line play on the offensive end. What can that offensive line do? And it's just simple as that, because when in all our biggest games, they played decent against Michigan. But Indiana and Miami, that offensive line got torched. And let's just be honest about it. Defensive end, things is, got to give a shout out to, I know T want to be mad at me. Chris Henry is not going to be a day one guy. I know people want updates on that. He is not a day one guy. He looks like a freshman. That's what the word is. He's definitely a specimen. You know, he looks apart, but you know that game guy. You got to catch up to that game speed. You got to slow down. It's just certain nuances and things that he got to get in and learn. But I don't think people need to expect him to be playing day one. Don't put them expectations on that young kid. That's how you end up with bust. And Devin McEwen, who we got from UTSA, and Kyle Parker, who we got from LSU, they said these dudes look different. Okay. They said they look like NFL guys. So they'll be fighting for the Z position at receiver opposite of Jeremiah. I don't know. I think I like either one of them guys really playing in a spot, because Ennis ain't explosive like he need to be, in my opinion. But we'll see how that shake out. But on the defensive end, Saudi, we lost Riley Pettijohn for the whole spring. He is hurt. So, yeah, he hurt. Was looking for a lot of growth out of him because I think that was probably going to be our best linebacker. We still got Peyton Pierce, though. You can pencil Peyton Pierce in. But, man, losing Peyton, Riley Pettijohn for the whole spring, that's a blow to the defense, even though we got the kid from Wisconsin who's a tackling machine. He's slow-footed, though. So I don't know how that's going to work, because Peyton Pierce is kind of slow-footed. Pettijohn, he more of a specimen. You know, you look at you when you come to practice or you see them dudes on the field, you be like, who is that guy? You know, he's one of them type dudes. So losing him and letting him grow all through spring, that hurt. But they said Devin Sanchez is looking like a shutdown out there. It looked like he took the next step, which is great, because I really don't know if I got too much faith in Jeremiah Matthews being my number one. I need Devin Sanchez to take that jump, because if not, it's going to be some problems for that secondary. But outside of that, man, the safeties look cool. We're not going to be able to replace Caleb Downs, you know, but it's a lot of experience back there. Shout out Leroy Roker. Leroy Roker was actually one of the highest graded players we had in PFF last season when he hit the field. But I mean, you're not really going to take Caleb Downs and Jalen McClain off the field. So he didn't see a lot of time just because when he did get in, he had to play nickel. So Leroy Roker looked like he gonna be one of them guys that not too many people know about him, but when you see him, he gonna always be popping and making plays. Am I missing anything? Oh, James Smith looks like an animal. We always need a one tech at Ohio State. We always need a monster one tech. He's going to be the guy that takes over McDonald's spot. And they said when he hit that bag, it just sound and looked different, and that's a guy that Alabama didn't even mind leaving. So we'll take him. And that's about it, man. I'm looking forward to this team, though, and seeing what they can shake loose. We lost a lot of defensive talent, but I think the defense is going to be just fine. I think Matty P got that on lock, but I am definitely worried about that offensive line. I'm not liking the reports. I'm not liking none of that.
All right, good stuff from everybody on their team. I'll just hit real quick with Texas A&M. We've got a few people that are out, not necessarily out for all of spring, but they're taking it cautious with them. Dalton Brooks, our safety. Jerome Miles, who I'm really concerned about this kid a lot. And Des Ricks. The starting Des Ricks is going to be cornerback one. That's a given. Brooks is just kind of more precautionary. He's been there. This will be his senior year. It's more kind of just keeping the body fresh, I think, with him. Jerome Miles is a phenomenal wide receiver. He blew his knee out, I want to say running track in Utah his senior year in high school, and of course missed all of last year. And I think they're just babying him, but everything I've heard is he should be good to go by fall for sure. I hate that he's missing some of the stuff with the spring workouts with Reed and the other receivers. But everything I'm hearing is trending that he's going to play some in the spring, just very, very sporadically. But everything I've heard is he's in good spirits, and everybody says the kid's a freak when he's out there on the field. And that was a concern of mine with A&M. With I know it sounds crazy with our receiving needed an upgrade. But yeah, we had Concepcion and Craver, who were phenomenal, but they were the same receiver. Smaller, fast, make you miss, take it to the house. We didn't have the big body that you could, hey, we need a fourth down fade in the corner of the end zone, go get it. We didn't have that. We got the transfer from Alabama, Isaiah Horton, who is looking amazing. That kid looks like, what's going on with Bama? You're letting people just leave like this, whatever. So we're glad he did. My big concern for us is twofold. It's the same as others, offensive line. We were a very experienced offensive line. We were good. Didn't necessarily get shoved around a lot, but had trouble opening run holes, especially in games against a good D-line. Texas, Miami. We couldn't get the running game going against those teams that we needed to. So brought in 4 new starters on the offense, all SEC guys. And you have your center back. So you have the anchor back in the center of the line. And then defense, I'm real curious to see how that plays out. From what I've heard, everything is looking good from the guys that have transferred in. They're catching on to the system. We needed bigger linebackers. I think everybody can agree with that saw A&M play last year. Yes, Torian York was good, and he's a very high IQ linebacker. He's not your prototypical SEC linebacker that y'all are used to seeing, that everybody's used to seeing. He just didn't have the size. Great kid, love the kid, phenomenal player. We just needed to get bigger. And I think we've done that. Right now, the biggest battle going on is cornerback 2. And it's between the kid Humphrey that transferred in from Georgia and the transfer from Tennessee. I don't know who's going to win it, but either way, I think we're good at cornerback position. I think Ricks can handle one side, and then either one of those, and then one will be a nickel. So, and then you can even flip them if somebody's got a little tweak. You wouldn't really lose a lot for your quick cornerback too. So, kind of where I'm in. Not too worried about the safety position. I think we're pretty good at safety. Watching O-line and D-line for the rest of the time. But everything I seem to be hearing coming out is the O-line looks to be gelling together pretty well, actually, for 4 new starters. So we'll see what happens. I do want to give a shout out to Coach Mike Elko. A couple of years ago, Texas A&M had a defensive line coach, Terry Price. His son, Devin Price, went to high school at A&M Consolidated, great receiver at A&M Consolidated. Terry Price was one of the best guys. He was famous for his little barbecues and swimming parties with the recruits and stuff, all cooking all these briskets for him and stuff. He passed away a couple of years ago, right before the season started. Mike Elko reached out to his son and brought him onto the staff. So, tells me a lot. He's a good guy too. He knows ball, obviously, but for Mike Elko to reach out and give a kid a chance to kind of start making his college path, says a lot about the man that Mike Elko is. And I don't think anybody on here could say anything bad about Mike Elko. I know post game raves about Mike Elko. So thought it was a really cool gesture. Just something I wanted to throw out there.
Hey, I got. If y'all don't mind, I got a question for SEC Shine, you and for Rob. SEC Shine, have you heard anything about how Marcel Reed is looking?
Everything I've heard, he's splitting. He's not really running. He's getting his reps, but he looks good from what I've heard. Him and Isaiah Horton have a really good chemistry already, which is good. Obviously, he has a connection with Craver and Ashton Bethel Roman, but the connection with Horton seems to be there, and it seems like Horton is kind of taking the lead in that receiver room and kind of making people stay after practice and throw more. But from my understanding, Marcel looks good. The backup, Miles, looks really good too. But from what I'm hearing, everything looks good. He looks good. He's moving good. He's moving in the pocket. He's making all the right reads in spring ball. Take that for what it's worth. But timing between a receiver and quarterback, we all know is paramount. So this is the time you work on all that with all these transfers. But that's what I'm hearing with Reed.
Rob, how about your man? What's his name? Biles. Have you heard anything about the transfer linebacker from Pittsburgh?
Yeah, he's going to be a really good addition. The thing that they're trying to figure out now is what is the best linebacker unit to put him in with, because he's a smaller guy, and they need to have him out there with somebody who's more of a bigger body so that they could use him in various ways and not a guy sitting in the middle coming downhill. But he's been a phenomenal piece for them. They just have to figure out who they're going to put him out there with, because that linebacker room is really a lot more loaded than what I thought previously, because of the type of scheme that Will Muschamp runs. It's going to be interesting to see, because it's hard to put him and Ty Anthony Smith out there at the same time, because they're really the same people, and neither one of them is a downhill thumper. But he will be one of the linebackers who's going to start this season. Who he's paired up with is going to be the question, because he's definitely going to be linebacker one for Texas going into the season.
Do y'all run a 4-2 or 4-3? Do y'all have 3 linebackers or 2 linebackers in a nickel?
They're going to run something similar to I don't want to necessarily say a 3-4, but what's the name is going to be playing linebacker. Colin Simmons is going to be playing like a linebacker, bro. Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna abuse them slow linebackers. You hear me?
You said what?
We're gonna abuse them slow linebackers. Get your Ohio State shirt ready again.
We're not gonna be worried about that because we're gonna control the line of scrimmage. We're not worried about that. They're gonna well, this is what it's gonna look like, Post. They're gonna have 3 down linemen. It's probably gonna be Harold Canoe, Ian Jaffard, and Alex January, and a combination of Alex. Of course, Colin Simmons is going to be out there, but it's going to be almost like I said, like a 3-4, similar to that. But they're going to probably spin big. The safety, Jelani McDonald, will probably come down and play the star position, which is in the slot to help in run support. But it just depends on what all these other safeties do. If we can get Phil Sami back healthy, he's out there in spring right now too. So we need those guys to get back healthy. Then you'll really get to see what that defense look like. But in terms of Bowles is going to be linebacker 1.
Hey, y'all running a multiple defense. That's what it sounds like.
Defense. Multiple, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, Kirby likes to run a multiple set. There's no design 3-4-4-3. He'll run a 3-4 for 3 plays and then flip to a 4-3. He may flip to a 4-2-5. Yeah. Muschamp is notorious for that, and it works most of the time. And then when it doesn't, it goes bad. But that's normally what I remember Muschamp doing. Previous stints was a multiple defense. But he prefers a 3-4.
Our corners just have to be able to play man to man. You won't see them doing what PK had them doing last year. They're gonna play a lot more man to man or matchup zone, that kind of stuff. So they won't be 20 yards off of a guy when it's 36. That's for sure.
What them corners looking like?
Our corners are going to be really, really good. I mean, of course, we got Bo Masco is going to probably be starting that one. And right now, the decision is what are they going to do with what's the corner's name? The freshman from last year. I can't think of his name right now. But if he's going to play corner, or is he going to play in the slot? But our corners are going to be all right. We're going to be all right at the corner position.
Hey, all right. I'll leave the trash talk for work tomorrow.
You're gonna start already, man. We in March, bro. We got a ways to go before that game.
Hey, listen. Hey, SEC Sean, man. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Post, even if we was playing post, I wouldn't even be yet. I'd just be like, hey, man, let's just see what happens. I'd be really calm with Notre Dame. I don't like to talk trash when my team plays somebody like.
You like to talk trash every other time, though.
That's right. One thing I want to say about the defensive thing y'all were talking about was I hope Mike Elko finally gets the players he needs in there to get out of that damn 4-2-5. I hate that defense. When he was at A&M as the DC, Mike Elko was running a 4-3, and A&M had a great defense. He got there with what he had on the roster when he got there. The 4-2-5 made the most sense. I hope we're getting to where we can get away from that, but we'll see. Anything else from anybody? We're sitting about an hour and 30. Real quick, I don't know if y'all saw this. St. Mary's, that guy that was their leading scorer and rebounder. I don't even want to try it. Maraskis from St. Mary's has entered the transfer portal.
Oh yeah, and Hubert Davis got fired.
Yeah.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know, Zay, maybe you know is it Shelsted or Shellstead? Anyway, somebody they played at Oregon. They're entered the portal.
Oh yeah, that power forward dude. I know who you're talking about.
So, just a couple of quick little portal notes. Other than that, your Columbus Blue Jackets are winning tonight, so kudos to them. Still got the push running for the playoffs. Nothing else from anybody?
Oh,
Rob, you want to go ahead and give all your info out about your websites and everything right there?
yes. Please go check out our website, WTPSportsDudes.com. We got some updated material on there. We definitely want you to go into the news and blog section and give us your thoughts on the blogs that we got in there. Read them carefully. Hit us up on our email at WTP Sports Dudes at gmail.com, so that way you can respond and we can post up your response onto the website. So go check that out. As soon as you get off this, go check out WTPSportsDudes.com.
All right, for sure. Sounds good. We are going to. I was clicking a button real quick and lost myself. We are also obviously on Patreon, also on the WTP Dudes. You can search on Patreon and find us there. All of this is going to be on there. I'll get this all rolled over this evening, so it'll be posted on there. You can also go into Spotify and search WTP Sports Dudes 2026 if you want to listen to the podcast. If you got a drive coming up, can't watch the stream, you want to just catch on what we talked about, you can listen to it that way. You can hear the dulcet tones of everybody as you cruise down the highway. We will be having some exclusive content coming. Some of the stuff, I'm obviously, this will be my last show for till next week at least, if not longer. We'll be on vacation. I'll be posting some exclusive content for paid subscribers only from my ride along down in the Charlotte Motor Speedway in a NASCAR, and then from our trip to Martinsville, Virginia to the NASCAR race. We got pre-race passes, so down in the pits, walking with driver introductions, all that good stuff is. But that stuff is going to be exclusive to paid subscribers on our Patreon channel. So other than that, that's all I got. Like I said, I'll be back in probably a week and a half, 2 weeks, but I'll be keeping up and tuned in and making sure Zaya don't try to run over or Moss don't go crazy trying to pick the University of Pennsylvania to win the National Baseball Tournament, the Baseball World Series or something. So we never know what he's going to do. So other than that, gentlemen, it's been a good evening. Not to bounce things off each other. So as we shut it down every time, like we always do, we'll just tell everybody, peace.
Peace.